Hello! Today I'm making one of my favorite soups. I call this meatball soup for the soul. It always seems to make me feel better, especially on rainy days. So let's get this started. First, the main vegetable. I'm using a small bottle gourd, but sometimes I like to use winter melon instead. Before cutting these into rings, it's a good idea to peel the skin first, which I seem to have realized here after. Then chop them into bite-sized pieces, wash, and put these aside. Next, let's prepare the meatballs. I'm using ground pork today, but feel free to use ground chicken or any other alternative of your choice, because this soup is too good not to try. Transfer the pork into a mixing bowl, and to this pork I'm adding vermicelli bean noodles. These can easily be found at any Asian grocery stores. I only need one bunch of this. Transfer it into a bowl. Soak this in water for about 10 to 15 minutes until they're soft. While that's soaking, let's get back to seasoning the meatballs. Garlic cloves are a must. How much you use doesn't really matter. It's really up to you because oftentimes I break my own rules of how much I should be using. So I mince these as finely as my patience allows and transfer immediately into the pork. By now the noodles are soft. Drain the water and using a scissor, cut these into small pieces. Transfer these into the pork and let's begin seasoning. For the amount of meat I'm using, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 3 tablespoons of soy, half tablespoon of mushroom seasoning, and half teaspoon of white pepper. Now mix all this together, squeezing and getting all the ingredients well combined. The very next step is to make little meatballs. I try not to make them too big, like how you would do with spaghetti meatballs. Best to make them a little smaller and similar sizes, so they cook faster at the same rate later. Once the meatballs are formed and the veggies are chopped, we can now begin cooking. In a medium saucer, add water, throw in about 3 to 4 slices of ginger, and bring this to a boil on medium-high heat. Then add the meatballs. Lower heat to medium and leave this cooking until meatballs are no longer pink. I'll know they're cooked once I see these all floating to the surface, like so. Before I begin adding the vegetables, I like to add some salt. This way, once the vegetables are added later, this will allow the flavors of the broth to absorb into the gourd or winter melon if that's what you're using. Once vegetables are fully added, continue cooking this until the veggies are done. I would say it took roughly about 15 to 20 minutes. These are done. Do a final taste to see if any need for a last touch of salt. Turn off the heat, add some chopped cilantro, this is all done and ready to serve. There are two ways I eat this. Sometimes as a side soup dish to my main meals, or I keep them in the fridge for another day. Just heat up the soup in a bowl, add some rice directly into the soup, and just like that, the first bite always brings joy to my taste buds. And this is the end of the recipe. I hope you give this a try. Let me know if you do. Have an amazing rest of the week, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!